You're born in late Qing China, right into the soft yellow glow of a lamp. Your mother is a skank who smokes more pipe than she serves tea. She hustles alone, half-conscious, her breath thick with stale matic, a blend of opium and tobacco. Because in late Qing China, the substance was as plentiful as rice. By the time you turn 5, your mother is already fading. You never learn her real name. Only the ones men call her when they push through the curtain at night. You have no father. When you ask her once, she laughs, a dry, humorless sound, and mutters that it could have been any of them. Or none. That's normal here. Nobody asks questions. Nobody wants answers. You grow up in a neighborhood where every shack leaks smoke, every elder coughs black phlegm, and every child has learned to dodge the kicks of half-awake addicts stumbling into the alley. Pipes lie around like toys, except the adults guard them closer than their actual children. Here, children are unregistered, nameless to the state, and invisible to everyone else. No schoolroom will ever call their name. No official will ever check if you live or die. Because here, people don't just look down on you, they look through you. You can't take the imperial examinations. You can't join a guild. You can't rise. You're born at the bottom, and the empire pads the lid above you. So you learn early that to live, children like you have to feed yourselves or starve. You spend most days running errands for food sellers, or slipping into market stalls to steal what you can hold under your shirt. Not because you're bold, but because hunger is bolder. You watch your mother leave for work, never by choice, always by necessity, as she brings back men. They come and go, leaving coins, curses, or bruises behind. Sometimes they shove you aside. Other times, they pretend you're not even there. By the time you're 8, her body begins to fail. First, a persistent cough. Skin that looks bruised even when untouched. Blisters that won't heal. Years of substance abuse have ruined her body. When she has none, she screams. Hoarse animal cries that shake the whole shack. You hide behind the water jars until she stops. You pretend you don't hear her begging at night for just one more pipe. You watch her waste away as her body trembles from withdrawal. So you spend your days running harder, stealing more, bargaining with vendors who laugh at a child trying to buy rice. Everything you bring home, she forces herself to eat, then throws up moments later. You want to help. You want to stop the shaking. But you're a child who barely feeds himself, and she's a woman who needs a drug worth more than either of your lives. You live like this for 3 more years until you turn 11. One morning, she doesn't wake up. You shake her shoulder, call her name, wait for her to roll over and curse at you. But she stays still, colder than the floor. No neighbors come to mourn. A few help drag her body to the burial ditch, more out of practicality than kindness. They mutter blessings, complain about the smell, then hold out their hands for payment. You give them the last of your coins. By sundown, the shack is silent, and you are alone, unprotected, unclaimed, and already marked by the life she could never escape. The week after your mother's death feels unreal. You sleep curled in the corner of the shack, listening to the empty space where her coughing used to be. Because of the payment to your neighbors, you are left with nothing. By the end of the week, you are hungry, alone, and too numb to cry. You think the worst has already happened. You are wrong. One day, 3 men arrive, thick-armed, with robes smelling of sour wine and teeth stained brown from pipe smoke. They ask for your mother by name, her working name, the one she used in the teahouses and red light districts. When you tell them she's dead, they don't even blink. They look at one another, nod, and grab you. No ceremony, no explanation. You're shocked. Kidnapping kids to settle debts? But in your district, that's basically paperwork. It is actually even encouraged by the Imperial Household Department. They manage the Empire's internal affairs. They call it domestic service transfer, and it justifies turning orphans into servants. You're dragged across the alleys toward the red light quarter, toward the tea house your mother used to stumble home from. You remember the rumors from the slums, boys who vanished after customers took interest, police who pretended not to see. Inside, smoke coils through the air like something alive. Music plays too sweetly, masking the snapping sounds from the back rooms. The walls are carved wood, polished by hands that were never treated gently. Everyone in the neighborhood knows this place. They know who owns it, too. A man people whisper about the way others talk about ghosts. Inside one of the rooms, you meet him. He's exactly how rumors painted him. A very fat man wrapped in silk robes too bright for the room. He sits at the far end, rings on every finger, eyelids heavy, lips curled in an almost smile. He lists your mother's debts in a bored voice. Pipe fees, room fees, tea tabs, interest, penalties, fines invented on the spot. The number is impossible. He doesn't expect you to understand. He expects you to obey. 2 options, he says. Work here, or work next door. You know what next door means. It's a brothel, and you've seen what it does to boys. You've seen enough ruined kids wandering the alleys to understand that work is just a slow execution. So you choose the tea house. Not because it's safe, but because it's the only option that doesn't end in immediate ruin. But before you're taken away, the boss leans forward, shadows cutting across his face. And then he says softly, "Listen well. When customers choose you, you obey. If you don't," he snaps his fingers, "you disappear, like many before you." You swallow hard, and just like that, your life stops being your own. Your first day begins with a blade. They shave your head clean except for a tiny top knot. Easy to grab, easy to yank. The boss says it's tradition. The older boys say it's so customers can see your face better. They give you a new name. Not your mother's name. Not the name she whispered when she was sober. A number even. You become Little Fourth, because the first 3 boys with your build either ran away or got sold off. Training starts immediately. They beat you, shout instructions, and expect you to remember which came first. If you don't bow low enough, you get slapped. If you don't smile fast enough, you get kicked. If you forget a customer's order, a bamboo rod comes down across your back. Welcome to the hierarchy. At the very top, wealthy clients, musicians, courtesans, and gamblers. Below them, senior tea house workers who've survived long enough to earn the right to slap you. Below them, runners, scrubbers, towel boys. All tea house boys like you. Within days, you're running Maddox packets from room to room, sneaking past officials who pretend not to see. You refill pipes for gamblers, sweep up ash and spilled wine, and mop floors slick with things you wish you could forget. You see wealthy men drink until they forget rules and only remember desires. Some grab your wrists as you pour tea. Some pull you onto their lap. Some drag you into hallways and press too close, whispering things children shouldn't hear. Your first private service happens sooner than you want to admit. A regular customer pats the cushion beside him. The boss says you're obedient, he says, fingers already on your shoulder. You freeze. The older boys told you the rule. When the boss gives you to someone, you go. If you resist, you disappear. You remember the boys who stopped showing up for morning drills. No explanations. No bodies found. So you go. You've learned how to make your face blank, how to detach from your body, how to nod when you want to scream. But nothing prepares you for the brutal act ahead. Still, You survive. Customers come and go. Their hands are rough. Their whispers are threats dressed as compliments. You endure because you have no choice. By the end of the first year, you understand what you've become. Not a servant, not an apprentice, just another commodity. Another piece of the Teahouse to be bought, used, and forgotten. The Teahouse itself is a perfect ecosystem of sin. You quickly realize the boss isn't just wealthy, he's protected. Local police drink here for free. Temple enforcers pretend not to see the pipes being lit. Government officials pass by with their hands already open. Everyone benefits from the Matic trade, which means everyone is willing to ignore the children trapped inside it. As a Teahouse boy, you realize something early. Matic is everywhere. It smokes through the wooden beams, seeps into the cloth of your apron, coats your skin until you smell like a walking pipe. The customers inhale it like air. The workers prepare it like medicine, and the boss treats it like currency. Every day you carry trays past men stretched on couches, eyes half-lidded, whispering dreams that don't belong to this world. But you stay away. Your mother's dying face is welded into your memory. The trembling hands, the begging, the way she screamed for more when there was nothing left to sell except you. So you keep your head down and promise yourself you will never touch the thing that killed her. But even in hell, there's always a bit of warmth before the burn. Because through all of this, one person keeps you tethered to something human. Your friend. A boy with a stubborn tongue and impossible dreams. He's the only other kid your age who hasn't turned into a ghost. He talks about running away someday and earning a real name. You never believe him, but you admire him for believing in himself. He's the one who makes you laugh when you're too tired to stand. He's the one who tells you stories when you believe life only has lows. And he's the one person you never want to lose. Sometimes he tells you it's the smoke that keeps him optimistic. He tells you to give it a try.
Nope.
But you always decline. Well, until the night everything cracks. One very busy night, you're exhausted. You barely slept, barely ate, barely stood. A wealthy customer snaps his fingers. You rush. Your hands shake. The teacup slips. Hot tea spills across his silk robe. The room goes silent. Then his fist connects with your jaw. He beats you until you curl up on the floor. When he's done, the boss steps in long enough to beat you again, because a humiliated customer must be compensated with someone else's suffering. Never shame a paying guest. You hear that line with every strike. By the end of it, your ribs feel splintered, your breath shallow, and your thoughts slow. Try as you might, you cannot stand. And boys who cannot work do not eat. That is the rule. That night, you lie in the storeroom, ribs throbbing, mouth bleeding, stomach empty. Then the door creaks open. It's your friend. He hands you a bowl of cold rice and a small brown pellet. It helps, he whispers. Otherwise, you won't survive the nights. You want to refuse. You shake your head. You think of your mother's trembling hands, her screams during withdrawal. But the pain in your body says otherwise. So you take it. The world softens. The ache drifts away. Your mind loosens, floats, quiets. For the first time since childhood, you don't feel fear. You don't feel anything at all. And in that numbing warmth, you finally understand why your mother begged. Soon, Matic becomes the only thing you look forward to. By 12, you've become everything the Teahouse needs and nothing a child should be. You pour tea with a smile you no longer feel. You run packets through back rooms thick with smoke. You clean up after gamblers, drunks, and used women. And when a customer curls a finger at you, you follow. Because what choice do you have? At first, they rarely call. Then occasionally. The more favored you become, the worse it gets. You start smoking before the encounters. Not for pleasure, but for survival. You need the numbness, the floating feeling, the ability to disconnect your mind from your body. The older boys teach the younger boys how to disassociate, how to breathe shallow and let your thoughts drift while your body obeys, how to turn yourself into a shadow, pretending to be a person. They tell you it's the only way to stay sane. Because here, violence is normal. A boy can disappear after a customer accuses him of attitude. A gambler can stab a waiter over a spilled drink. But the tea house keeps running. Smoke keeps rising. Tea keeps pouring. For the next few years, nothing changes. You're now 16, and you believe that life can only get better. Then everything changes. One night, a high-ranking official comes to the tea house for wine. Drunk on wine, he starts to praise the empire loudly. In front of everyone, he jokes that if tea house boys' mothers had kept their legs shut, the empire wouldn't have to waste time on taking care of their bastard sons. Unknowingly, your friend mutters loudly, "How is this taking care of us?" Silence. The entire room freezes. The boss tries apologizing. Not for your friend, but for himself, bowing until his forehead reddens, promising immediate punishment. But the official waves it away. "No need," he says. "His crime is treason against the emperor. He comes with me." Your friend is dragged out. You follow at a distance, heart pounding, tailing the sedan chair to the official's residence. You hide from a distance, listening. You hear screams throughout the night. The next morning, servants carry out a heavy bundle wrapped in black cloth. You trail them to the canal as they toss it in like garbage. The cloth slips. A hand floats out. It's him. Something inside you shatters. Quietly. Completely. You go back to the tea house silently. You work. You smile. You obey. And you smoke. Hard, fast, constantly. Until you can't remember the sound of his voice. Until you can barely remember your own name. You're too afraid to die. Too broken to live. So you keep going. Smoke in your lungs. Bruises on your skin. Nothing left inside. Sleep stops being a refuge. Every time you close your eyes, someone waits for you on the other side. Your mother, screaming for smoke. Your friend, begging through the door. Customers, breathing over your shoulder. You wake up choking on air that isn't there. So you smoke more. One pipe before work to keep your hands steady. Another after a customer finishes with you. 2 more before sleeping. So the nightmares drown before they surface. Your ribs show. Your lungs whistle. Your fingertips turn gray. You cough until blood dots the floorboards. But nobody notices. Or cares. Here, tea house boys burn fast and cheap. Then one night, a drunk patron drags you into a back room and leaves you shaking and half-conscious. You crawl to the storage corner where you sometimes hide to cry. Your hands tremble so violently you spill half the drug. You smoke everything left anyway. Maybe it's because you skipped dinner. Maybe the batch is stronger. Maybe you just don't care anymore. The pipe warms your lips. Your limbs go pleasantly numb. Your breath slows. Your vision softens at the edges. You lie back in the storage room, surrounded by old tea crates and the faint scent of mold. You try to inhale again. but your chest barely rises. The world tilts, distant and underwater. You think vaguely of your mother, of your friend by the canal, of all the versions of you that might have existed in a different life. Then you stop thinking. Your breathing becomes shallow, then slow, then silent. You die quietly in a room no customer ever sees. In the morning, 2 boys find you. They don't scream. They've seen this before. They wrap you in sheep cloth, tie it with string, and carry you out the back door. No prayers, no ceremony, no name. Just another discarded Teahouse boy. While you disappear into a muddy riverbank, China collapses. The Opium War tears the nation open. Foreign powers carve up cities, ports, and pride. The dynasty staggers, chokes, and finally dies. Scholars shout about national salvation. Officials blame foreign poison. Reformers blame imperial decay. But nobody mentions the Teahouse boys. Nobody counts the children who died in back rooms, storage corners, and riverbanks. Used, exploited, addicted, erased. The empire drowned in opium. And children like you were the first to sink.